Right, guys? So yesterday what we discussed, guys? Today is the day 2. So yesterday we have started our batch. Yesterday just we have discussed about the course content, guys. Right? First I am giving brief introduction about myself. After that I will give the overview of each and every AWS service and each and every DevOps tool, guys. Then you guys will get the more clarity about this course content. Fine. So myself, Raju, I am having 12 plus years of working experience. Still, I am working. Currently, I am working as a senior technical specialist in my company. Right. So in my company, I am working as a Java full stack developer, guys. Not only DevOps operations and AWS cloud. So I'm taking care of development also in my project by using Java, Spring Boot and microservices React.js. Along with this development, DevOps operations and the cloud infrastructure setup, everything will be taken care by myself only. So in the project SDLC model, we have several stages are there. So from designing stage to till delivery stage, I'm involving in all the areas. So designing the requirements, developing and testing and deploying the applications in the server in all the areas, guys. Creating the infrastructure in the AWS cloud in all the areas I'm involving, guys. So this is brief about myself. So next, coming to prerequisites to attend for this course. Here I mentioned as nothing. So nothing is required to attend for this course. Is it true? No, guys. Right? We require Linux basics to attend for this course. If you want to attend for this DevOps and AWS cloud, compulsory Linux basics are required. But why I mentioned as nothing? Even if you don't know the Linux, no problem. Here we are going to cover Linux also. That's why I mentioned as nothing, guys. Why I mentioned nothing? To attend for this course, what are the prerequisites are there? Those prerequisites also we are going to cover here. That's why I mentioned as nothing. Fine. Coming to the actual course content. So the entire course I have divided into multiple parts. Here you can see how many parts I have divided. So total I have divided into 7 parts. Total I have divided the course into 7 parts. As part 1, what we are going to discuss? As part 1, we are going to discuss introduction of the DevOps. As part 1, we are going to cover introduction of the DevOps. So in this introduction part, what we are going to cover? Here we are going to understand what is DevOps. Right? Why DevOps is required? What is the DevOps life cycle? What is the software development life cycle? What methodologies are available in software development life cycle? What is waterfall methodology? What is agile methodology? Where DevOps engineers are involving in the SDLC model. All these things we are going to understand in part 1 next. What is part 1? Introduction of the DevOps. In that part 1, we are going to discuss all these things. Okay. So once part 1 is completed, then we will move into part 2. So what is part 2? Right. As a part 2, we are going to discuss Linux operating system and shell scripting. So this is the main important part to attend for this course. If you want to attend for DevOps with AWS cloud, then this part 2 is important. So whatever the prerequisites are there to attend for this course, those prerequisites we are going to discuss here. What we are going to discuss here? Linux operating system and shell scripting. Here what we are going to cover? Here we are going to understand what is operating system. Right? What is Windows operating system? What is Linux operating system? And we will compare the Windows and Linux operating system. And we are going to start Linux commands. So these Linux commands are very, very important to attend for this course. So how many days we are going to spend on this Linux commands? Almost we are going to spend 7 to 8 days only on this Linux commands, guys. Almost we are going to spend 7 to 8 days only on these Linux commands. So that much important, guys. Linux commands are that much important. So after completing this Linux commands, Then I will jump into shell scripting. Right? For DevOps engineers, how much shell scripting is required? Up to that level, I am going to cover. So here in part 2, overall how many days we are going to spend on this part 2? Almost we are going to spend 12 to 13 days, guys. 12 to 13 days we are going to spend on part 2, guys. Okay, and in part 1 we are going to spend 3 days, guys. 3 days we are going to spend on part 1. So to complete this part 1 and part 2, right, we are going to spend almost 15 days we are going to spend. 15 sessions we are going to take on this part 1 and part 2. Okay, so once this part 1 and part 2 is completed, then our actual course will start. So up to part 2 what we covered? So the prerequisites, we covered prerequisites only up to part 2. So now in the part 3 we are going to understand AWS cloud. As I told in yesterday's session, here we are going to learn total 20 plus services. Guys, observe carefully. How many services we are going to cover? 20 plus AWS services we are going to cover. Suppose if you attend for DevOps with AWS cloud in other institutes, they will cover 20 plus services? No. They will cover hardly 6 to 7 services if you attend for DevOps with AWS cloud. And mainly they will put focus on the DevOps side. AWS side, just what are the main important services are there? 5 to 6 services they will cover on this batch. Even if you join only for the AWS cloud also, they won't cover 20 plus services. Hardly they will cover 12 to 15 services, guys. But here, so with this DevOps and AWS cloud only, we are going to cover 20 plus AWS services. Okay. Next, before going to start the services, first I will give the brief introduction about the cloud computing. So what is cloud computing? Why we need to go for the cloud computing? What advantages we have with the cloud computing? How many ways the cloud services are segregated? See guys, all cloud services are segregated in these 3 ways. What is infrastructure as service? What is the platform as service? What is the software as service? If you go with the infrastructure as service, what you need to take care and what provider will take care. If you go with the platform as a service, what you need to take care and what provider will take care. If you go with the software as a service, what you need to take care, what provider will take care. All those things we are going to understand in this case. So then we will come to introduction of the AWS cloud. Here we are going to discuss what is AWS, why we need to go for AWS, what benefits are there with the AWS, total how many services are available in the AWS, right? So in how many countries are using AWS, all those things we are going to discuss in the introduction of AWS cloud. So then we will understand how to create the free tier account in the AWS cloud. If you want to use AWS services, then you should have the account in the AWS. So here we are going to create free tier account. Free tier account means it is free for 1 year. It is free for 1 year and every month you will get 750 hours for free. Every month you will get 750 hours for free. So then we will start about the overview of the AWS services. What services, what 20 services we are going to discuss in this course. That services overview I will give it here. So then we will understand regions and availability zones. How AWS is managing globally, how AWS is providing the services globally, so that we are going to discuss it here. By using regions and availability zones, AWS is managing globally. Okay, fine. So once this introduction part is completed, then I will start the actual AWS services. Here I mentioned all the 20 plus services which I am going to cover. Fine. As a first service, I am going to start EC2. EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. Guys, don't get confused. EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. It is not Elastic Cloud Computing. Some people are feeling EC2 stands for Elastic Cloud Computing. Not guys. It is not correct. EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud guys. Okay. By using this EC2, what we will do? By using EC2, we can create the virtual machines. In the cloud environment, if you want to create the virtual machine, whether it is Windows virtual machine or Linux virtual machine or Mac virtual machine, then we need to create those virtual machines by using EC2 service. What is the use of EC2 service? By using EC2 service only, we can create the virtual machines in the cloud. Okay, fine. So then what is AMI guys? AMI stands for Amazon Mission Image. AMI stands for Amazon Mission Image. So what is the use of this AMI? Why we need to go for AMI guys? Okay, see here, observe very carefully guys. If you want to create the resume guys for your technology, if you want to create the resume, so then what you need to do guys, right? You need to create one, you need to open the, right, so this Microsoft Word, so there you need to take the borders, there you need to take the proper fonts, then you will write everything guys. Okay, so it will take the time, it will take time guys. Here also, if you want to create the virtual machine from scratch, it will take a lot of time. If you want to create the virtual machine from scratch, then you need to install the operating system, then you need to install all the required software to launch the virtual machine. Hey man, instead of creating the virtual machine from scratch, here I am providing one template with the operating system. Here I am providing one template with the operating system. You can use this template to launch the virtual machine. If you use this template to launch the virtual machine, then you no need to install the operating system explicitly. Along with this template, you will get the operating system also and some other softwares also you will get along with this template. Guys, observe very carefully. Instead of creating the virtual machine from scratch, if you use this image, if you use this template, so you will get the operating system and you will get some other softwares also in this image. So you no need to install the operating system again. You no need to install some packages, some softwares again, guys. Right? On top of this, whatever you require extra, just install those things only. If you go with the AMI, what we can do? We can reduce the time. Right, we can quickly create the virtual machines by using AMI. Right, again I am telling, if you want to create the resume, right, if you want to create the profile, what you will do? You will take one sample resume from your friend. On top of that, you will change the, right, so change the information related to you guys. Whatever the required changes are there, just you will make those changes. You won't do everything from the scratch. Already your friend have created everything guys. On top of that, what are the changes are required, like your name, your mail ID, your mobile number. So those things you will change it guys. Same here also. Not required to create the virtual machine from scratch. I have AMI. Use this AMI. In this AMI, you will get the operating system and you will get some other required softwares. If you create the virtual machine by using this AMI, those things again you no need to install. Right? Apart these things, whatever other things you require, just install those things only. That is what we are going to do by using AMI. Right? Here, how many types of AMIs are there? We have provider managed AMIs are there and custom managed AMIs also available. Custom managed AMIs means based on our requirement, we will create the AMIs and we will use those AMIs guys. Here, AMIs are two types guys. What AMIs are there? Provider managed AMIs means AWS will manage some AMIs, Azure will manage some AMIs, GCP will manage the AMIs guys. So these are providers. And customer means like us. We need to create the AMIs based on our requirement. So both we can use, we will discuss both. How to create the custom AMIs also we are going to discuss it. Up to here clear? Please respond guys. Please respond. Why we are going for EC2? Why we are going for AMI? Is it clear or not? Online candidates, please respond.
Yeah, it's clear.
Clear?
Yeah, it's very clear. Yep.
So next one is EBS. EBS stands for what, guys? Elastic block storage. EBS stands for elastic block storage, guys. When we are creating the virtual machine, right, we need some storage or not, and we need to store some data. Where you will store that data? For that, storage is required. By using EBS, we will create the storages and we can attach that storages to the virtual machines. EBS means by default you will get some root volume, right? At the same time, you can create additional volumes and you can attach the additional volume to the EC2 instance also. Guys, observe carefully. See here. See, I am creating the virtual machine in the AWS cloud. Right? Along with this virtual machine, we will get one root volume. You will get one root volume. If you want, you can attach additional volume also. You can create the additional volume and you can attach the additional volume to the virtual machine. So this additional volume is nothing but, so like our external storage devices. What external storage devices are there? Hard disk, right? Pen drive. All these are the external storage devices. You can attach those external storage devices to your system. You can store the data and you can detach that external storages from the system. Same here also, whatever the additional volume you are creating, you can attach to the system, you can store the data and you can detach that volume. But root volumes, we can't able to detach. This root volume you will get along with the virtual machine, so you can't able to detach these root volumes. But additional volumes we can create by using EBS. Additional volumes you can attach, additional volumes you can detach, guys. And you can create the backup for the additional volumes also by using snapshots concept. Okay, here EBS is nothing but what? Elastic block storage. So this will talk about the storage, guys. Storages. Okay, next one is ELB. ELB stands for what? Elastic load balancer. ELB stands for elastic load balancer. Why we need to use this ELB? Guys, generally, if you deploy the application in the single server, if you deploy the application in the single server, see, this is my server. Assume this is my server. In this server, I have deployed one application, guys. So now, if a huge traffic came, what will happen? Right, per hour, 2 lakhs requests are coming to access the application which is running inside the server. Inside the server, one application is running, guys. So now tell me, to access this application, right, 1 lakh requests are coming. Right, my server can't able to handle 1 lakh requests per hour, guys. Assume my server can't able to handle 1 lakh requests per hour. So now what will happen? Server will take more time to process those requests. Server will take more time to process those requests. Right? Performance will be reduced. Or sometimes server may get crashed also because of heavy load, guys. Server may get crashed also because of heavy load. Observe carefully, guys. Simple example I will give. See here. This is the source, guys. This is the source and this is the destination. Okay, so one person need to travel from source to destination by walk. Assume, guys, the distance between source and destination is 2 kilometers. 2 kilometers is there. Distance between source and destination is 2 kilometers is there. So now a person need to travel from the source to destination, guys, by walk. By walk he need to go from right source to destination, guys. Okay, how he will go? With some weights. With some weights, guys. Assume one rice bag. I'm giving one rice bag to him. He need to carry that rice bag from source to destination by walk, guys. Suppose if I give 10 kgs weight, 10 kg weight rice bag, 10 kg weight, he can carry or not? Okay, no problem. Just 10 kg only, right? Just 10 kg only, right? So he can carry, guys. Not a problem. He can carry. Suppose if I increase the weight, 20 kgs I am giving. 20 kgs I am giving, guys. Okay, he can carry 20 kgs, right? He can carry. Guys, assume this person having 60 years of old. 60 years of old. For 60 years of old person, I am giving 10 kg weight. Okay, he can carry. I am increasing the weight to 20 kgs. Okay, he can carry. I am increasing the weight up to 50 kgs. Oh, okay. He can try. He can try, guys. Suddenly, I increase the weight up to 100 kgs. 100 kgs, guys. Okay. Right. Even 100 kgs also he will try. Suppose if I increase the weight 500 kgs. By walk, he can carry 500 kgs weight from source to destination. Guys, please respond. Is it possible? Carrying 500 kg weight by walk from source to destination. Is it possible for 60 years old person?
No. Yeah.
What will happen? He may take more time or he may die also. He may fall down also, guys. Because of overweight, he may fall down also because of this overweight. Same server also. Right? If 10 requests are coming per hour, my server can handle. If 20 requests are coming per hour, my server can handle. If 50 requests are coming, my server can handle. Suppose, right? So, 1 lakh requests are coming. Yes, my server may take more time. Or server may get crashed also. Then how you can overcome this problem? How you can overcome this problem? So to overcome this problem, so we need to deploy our application in multiple servers. If you deploy the application in single server, it is not enough. It is not sufficient. Then what you need to do? To overcome this problem, you should deploy the application in multiple servers. See guys, same application I am deploying in the 3 servers. 3 servers. Assume each server can handle 1 lakh requests per hour. So now 3 servers means, right, how many requests these 3 servers can handle? 3 lakhs requests. Right, per hour 3 lakhs requests these 3 servers can handle. Okay, how you will distribute the load to these 3 servers? Okay, you have deployed the application in 3 servers. Right, how you will distribute the load? How you will distribute the traffic to these servers? We are going to use load balancer concept. We are going to use load balancer. This is my load balancer. This is my load balancer, guys. Right? So here what I am going to do? Here I am going to use load balancer. Here whatever the servers which you are using, right, all the servers are connected to the load balancer. All the servers are connected to the load balancer. From outside, customers will send the requests to this load balancer. All the customers will send the request to this load balancer. So load balancer will distribute the load to these servers by using some algorithms. By following some algorithms, load balancer will distribute the load to these servers. Is this clear? Is it clear, guys? Who will distribute the load to multiple servers? Load balancer. Load balancer will take care of that. In real time, we need to deploy the application always in multiple servers, not in a single server. If you deploy the application in single server, what will happen? Sometimes load will be increased. Right? Traffic will be increased because of that heavy traffic. Because of that heavy load, server will take more time to provide the response, or server may get crashed also. So to overcome that problem, what we need to do? We need to deploy the application in multiple servers. If you deploy the application in multiple servers, how you will distribute the load? Through load balancer, we will distribute the load to multiple servers. That we are going to understand it here. ELB stands for Elastic Load Balancer. So here we are going to understand how to create the load balancer for monolith based applications, how to create the load balancer for microservices architecture based applications. Both we are going to understand. Okay, fine. So next we are going to talk about ASG. ASG stands for what? Auto scaling group. Auto scaling group. Here what we are going to understand, guys? Auto scaling group means, guys, observe carefully. So whenever traffic is increased, maybe here I have deployed the application in 3 servers, guys. Right? These 3 servers can handle 3 lakhs requests. These 3 servers can handle 3 lakhs requests per hour. Per hour, 3 lakhs requests, these 3 servers can handle. Maybe, right, so per hour, I am getting 5 lakhs requests. 5 lakhs requests, guys. So these 3 servers can handle 5 lakhs requests per hour? No. Right, no, it is not possible. So these 3 servers can handle up to 3 lakhs requests only. But my application became more popular. So lot of people are trying to access my application from outside. Per hour, I am getting 5 lakhs requests, guys. You can handle. So these 3 servers are not sufficient to handle these 5 lakhs requests, guys. Okay, for that what you will do? Again you need to go to the market, again you need to purchase computers, again you need to install the servers, and again you need to set up everything, whatever you require. Whatever you require, everything you need to set up. Okay, I have done. I have spent some time to do that, and I have done, guys. Right, 2 more servers. 2 more servers I have attached at here. 2 more servers I have attached. Okay, fine. So now total I have 5 servers. 5 servers can handle 5 lakhs requests. Guys, I have set up 2 more servers. To set up these 2 more servers, I spent lot of time and I spent lot of money also. Fine. But tomorrow, again, I am getting 3 lakhs requests only per hour. My God. What about these 2 extra servers which I set up? I have set up 2 extra servers. What about those servers? You spend time, you spend money, everything is waste. Everything is waste. And again you are getting 3 lakhs requests only. To handle that 3 lakhs requests, 3 servers are enough. But again you set up 2 more servers. Right? You added those 2 servers to the load balancer. There is no use of that 2 servers. Money waste, time waste, everything waste, guys. Right? To overcome this problem, we need to go for auto scaling. Auto scaling means what? Scale up and scale down. Scale up means what? Based on the traffic, automatically I want to increase the number of servers. Scale down means what? Based on the traffic, automatically I want to decrease the number of servers in the cloud. I don't need to purchase the computers. I don't need to install the licensed servers and all those things. I don't need to attach those servers with the load balancer. Everything will be taken care by the cloud only. If I go with the cloud, you no need to set up extra servers when load is increased. That cloud only will take care. Cloud will check. Oh my God, traffic is increasing. Traffic is increasing. Here we have 3 servers only. These 3 servers are not sufficient to handle this traffic. So I need to increase the server. So cloud will increase the servers, guys. Tomorrow, when traffic is reduced, oh, these 2 extra servers are not required. Again, we are getting less traffic only. Then cloud will remove those servers. Okay, so that's why we need to go for auto scaling group. Right? So that what right? Here I am recording the session. I will share the recording session. Stephen, after completing this, I will share the recorded session I am recording. Okay, you guys can go through once again. Any number of times you can go through the recordings. Okay. See guys, that's why we are going for auto scaling. Right? You can increase the servers, you can decrease the servers based on the traffic base. Perfect. Next guys, what next we have? See here, next we have route 53. Route 53. What is this route 53 guys? Guys, we will use route 53 to map our external URLs with your right load balancer URL. Guys, observe carefully. Here, you deployed the application in multiple servers. So you can't able to share the IP addresses of all these servers to the customers. Assume we are using Gmail application. That Gmail application is deployed in 10 servers. That each server having some IP address. Now tell me that the Gmail team is sharing the IP addresses of Gmail servers to connect to access the Gmail application. They are sharing the IP addresses of those Gmail servers. Please respond, guys. Two-way communication is required. Everyone should respond. Assume Gmail application is deployed in 10 servers. If you want to access the Gmail application, that Gmail team is sharing the IP addresses of Gmail servers? No, right? They won't share, right? We don't know the IP address of Gmail server. Then what we are doing, guys? That they also using load balancer. Right? They connected all the Gmail servers to the load balancer. This load balancer having some URL. Load balancer have some URL, guys. URL is available, but this URL is too lengthy. Guys. People can't able to remember this load balancer URL. It is too lengthy, guys. Suppose if Gmail team shared this load balancer URL to the customers, it is very difficult to remember. So that's why what they did, guys, they purchased one domain, guys. They purchased one domain, that is gmail.com. Gmail.com is the domain which they purchased, and they mapped with this domain. They mapped this domain with the load balancer URL. So they attached all the servers to the load balancer. That load balancer having some URL, but with that load balancer URL, you can access Gmail application. There is no problem. But this load balancer URL is too lengthy. It is very difficult to remember. So that's why what they did, they purchased one domain, that is gmail.com, and they mapped this domain with that URL, load balancer URL, and they shared this domain name with the customers. If customer wants to access any one of these applications, what they are doing? Just they are sending the request to this domain. Just they are sending the request to gmail.com domain. Internally, this gmail.com is mapped with the load balancer URL. So whatever the requests are coming to this domain, all the requests are going to this URL only. All the requests are routing to this load balancer URL only. To do this mapping, to map domain name with the load balancer URL, here we are going to use Route 53 service. Route 53 service, we are going to use it here. What we are doing? We are mapping domain name with the URL. To do this kind of mapping, we need to use Route 53. Route 53 is the service which we will use to map the domain name with the load balancer URL, or to map the domain name with your server IP address, or domain name with your S3 bucket URL, etc. You can map the domain with any one of these things by using Route 53 service. Okay, fine, perfect. So next, guys, after Route 53, we are going to discuss S3. What is this S3? S3 is a unlimited storage device. S3 is a unlimited storage device. Right. Here we can store the objects in the S3. First we need to create the bucket in the S3, and inside the bucket we can store the objects. Right. Whatever the objects you are storing inside the S3 bucket, for every object one unique URL will be generated. So by using that URL, you can access that object from outside. Right? You can store the objects and you can access the object, you can download the object, everything you can perform on the S3 bucket. Right? S3 stands for simple storage service. Right? We will use S3 as unlimited storage device. Right? In interviews they are asking, what storages you have used in your projects? You can say, I have used EBS, Elastic Block Storage, and I have used S3 Simple Storage Service also I have used. Like that you can answer. Okay, S3 is nothing but what? A unlimited storage device. We will use S3 to store the objects, guys. Okay, fine. So next one is RDS. RDS stands for what? Relational Database Service. Right here, right. So by using this RDS, we can create the right SQL databases, relational databases. Relational databases means right. So the data will be stored in the form of some structure, some sequence, guys. Right, structured database. RDS means structured databases, SQL databases. See here, by using RDS, we can create the MySQL database. By using RDS, we can create the right. So this Oracle database. By using RDS, we can create the Postgres database. Like that, SQL databases we can create by using RDS in the AWS cloud. Okay, so whenever you have created the database in the AWS cloud, right, you will get some properties. What properties you will get? Let's see here, you will get database name, right, DB name, database name you will get, and endpoint URL you will get, and username, and password, and port number on which port the database is running. And once a database is created, so you will get all this information. Once you collected this information, you need to share this information with the development team. So development team will configure these details in their application properties file, and they will connect with the database through that application base. Okay, they will configure all these details in the application and they will connect with the database through application. Whatever the database you have created in the AWS cloud, developers need to connect with the database and they need to perform some CRUD operations, creating the data, retrieving the data, updating the data, deleting the data. All these operations they need to perform. If they want to perform these operations, first they need to connect with the database. If they want to connect with the database, they should have this information. They should have this information. By using this information, they can connect it to the database. Who will provide this information? We need to provide this information to the developers. Whoever created the database in the cloud, so that person need to provide this information to the developers. They will connect it to the database through application by using this information. Okay. We will see, guys, how to create the databases and all those things. We'll see practical. So next we have DynamoDB. What is this DynamoDB, guys? DynamoDB is the NoSQL database. NoSQL means there is no structure. SQL means there is a structure. NoSQL means there is no structure at here. Data will be stored in the form of JSON objects, guys. JSON key value pairs, not in the form of tables, guys. Tabular format. Okay, rows, not in the form of rows and columns, guys. But here, if you go with the AWS, right, DynamoDB is the AWS own product. So in the DynamoDB, we no need to create the database. It is already database is available in the AWS. So we no need to create the database. But if you go with RDS, here we need to create the database first. Then we will create the tables, etc., etc., etc. But coming to DynamoDB, we no need to create the database. Database is already available in the AWS cloud. So then what we need to do? Just we need to create the tables inside the database. And we need to provide the table information to the developers. Developers will do some configuration at application level to connect with this DynamoDB tables and to perform the operations. Okay, RDS is the SQL database. SQL means structural query language. SQL stands for what? Structural query language. So in RDS, data will be represented in the form of tables. Inside the tables, data will be stored in the form of rows and columns. But coming to DynamoDB, not like that. Not like that, guys. There is no structure. NoSQL means no structural query language. Right? There is no structure, guys. Data is stored in the form of key value pairs. Okay, so that is the difference between RDS and DynamoDB. Fine. So the next one is very most important topic is VPC. VPC stands for what? Virtual Private Cloud. Virtual Private Cloud. Here we are going to understand by using VPC what we can do. We can create the isolated network in the AWS. By using VPC, we can create our own isolated network. By using VPC, we can provide the security for our AWS resources. Whatever the AWS resources you are using in your project, for those resources, you need to provide the security. To provide the security, for that we need one isolated network. So that we are going to create by VPC. Here we need to understand that so many components, guys. Right? What is VPC? What is the subnet? What is public subnet? What is private subnet? What is the route table? How to map the route tables with the subnets? What is internet gateway? What is the NAT gateway? All those things we are going to discuss in VPC. All those things we are going to understand in VPC, guys. Okay. So then we are going to discuss CloudWatch. Then we are going to discuss CloudWatch, guys. What is this CloudWatch? Right? What is this CloudWatch, guys? CloudWatch is a monitoring service. Right? I'm using multiple AWS resources. Right? Here, I want to monitor those resources, guys. How those resources are running. How my application is running in that resources. Everything I need to monitor. Everything goes properly or anything goes wrong. That I need to monitor. To monitor that, AWS is providing one service that is called as CloudWatch. We will use this CloudWatch for monitoring purpose. We will use the CloudWatch for monitoring purpose. Okay. Next one is CloudFormation. What is this CloudFormation? CloudFormation is a infrastructure as code service. Till now, right, we are creating the infrastructure in the AWS by using UI, user interface. We have the user interface, right? Through user interface only, we are creating the EC2, we are creating the AMI, we are creating the EBS, we are creating the load balancer, we are creating the auto scaling. All these things we are creating through user interface. But I don't want to create the resources in the AWS through UI. I want to write some code to create the resources. I want to write some code to create the infrastructure in the AWS. For that, we can go with the CloudFormation. By using CloudFormation, we can create the infrastructure in the AWS cloud by writing some code. Guys. Okay. CloudFormation is nothing but what? Infrastructure as a code service. Means creating the infrastructure by writing the code that is called as IAC. Till now, we have created the infrastructure in the AWS cloud by using user interface. But in the companies, they are not accepting creating the infrastructure using UI, guys. They are expecting write code to create the infrastructure. So here, for that, AWS is providing CloudFormation. By using this, we can create the infrastructure by writing some code. Is this clear? Guys, up to here clear, please respond. Guys, here completing quickly all these things, that is not matter. Everyone should understand what we are going to learn in the course. So that's why, right, I'm spending again time to understand, to discuss each and every high level, guys, each and every service high level. Okay, so till now what we discussed is EC2. We will use EC2 to create the virtual machines. AMI is a template which we will use to launch the virtual machines, guys. With this AMIs, we can create the virtual machines quickly and easily. Next, EBS, right? By using EBS, we can create the storages. Next, ELB, load balancers, guys. To distribute the load to multiple servers, we are using ELB. Next, ASG, auto scaling group, right, to perform scale up and scale down, increasing the servers, decreasing the servers automatically. We are using this ASG. Next, Route 53, to map our domain name with load balancer URL, to map our domain name with IP address, to map our domain name with S3 bucket URLs. We are using this Route 53. S3 is a unlimited storage device. RDS, by using RDS, we can create the relational databases. By using DynamoDB, we can create the NoSQL tables. Right? VPC, by using VPC, we can create the isolated networks. So by using that isolated network, we can provide the security for our AWS resources. Next, right, we are going to understand CloudWatch. Right, we will use this CloudWatch for monitoring the resources and your application. By using Cloud Formation, we can create the infrastructure in the AWS cloud by writing some code. Up to here, clear? Guys, if anyone asks, anyone says something like, hey, tell me CloudWatch. You should remember immediately, you should recollect immediately. Oh, CloudWatch we will use for monitoring purpose in the AWS. By using CloudWatch, we can monitor the applications and the resources, everything in the AWS. That you should recollect. If anyone talk about Route 53, yes, in the AWS we have Route 53. By using that Route 53, we will do the mapping. We will map domain name with the load balancer URL. We will map domain name with the IP addresses. We will map domain name with the S3 bucket URL. So that you need to recollect. AMI. Oh, AMI stands for Amazon Mission Images. Right? If you use AMI to launch the virtual machines, you can reduce the time. Easily, quickly you can create the virtual machines by using this AMI. Need to recollect like that. Okay, perfect. So next one is SQS. SQS stands for what? Simple Queue Service. Guys, here it is going to work as a pub and publisher and subscriber model, guys. Here we have two parties, publisher and subscriber is available. Publisher need to share some information to the subscriber. So if publisher want to communicate with the subscriber, both the publisher and subscriber both should be in running condition, then only they can able to communicate each other. So when publisher is trying to give some information to the subscriber, at that time subscriber is not available, subscriber application is not running, then that is the problem. Subscriber will miss some valuable information. So to avoid that, here we are using SQS. Between producer and subscriber, right, we have one queue. We are going to create one queue. What subscriber will do? If producer want to give any information to the consumer, producer not required to wait for the consumer. He will go and drop that message inside the queue. Whenever consumer will come, at that time he will come and check inside the queue and he will take the message what producer is producer, guys. Simple example, guys. Simple example I will give. Observe carefully. Observe carefully, guys. Here, guys, here, every topic you should understand. Guys, this is my home. This is my home, guys. Okay. So I am not at home, guys. I'm not at home from past 1 week. I went outside. I went out of station, guys. I'm not there in the home. Right now, one postman came to my home to give one letter, guys. To deliver one letter. One postman came to my home. But at that time, I'm not available in my home. What he will do? He will go back, guys. He will go back. Okay. Again, second day he tried to give that letter to me. Second day also he came to my home. Right? Still I am not available. Second day also I am not available. Okay. He went back. Third day also he tried, guys. But third day also I am not available. So then what he will do? He will send that letter back to the source, guys. From where that letter came, again he will send that letter back. Okay. So if we send that letter back, means what? You missed something. You missed some information. Right? You haven't received that letter. Means you missed some information. Okay. Instead of this, if you keep one letter box in front of your gate, your main gate, if you keep the letter box, whenever postman came, first at that time he will check whether you are available or not. If you are available, then fine. Suppose if you are not available, then what he will do? Right in front of the gate, one letter box is available. He will drop that letter in that letter box. Okay. After 1 week or after 1 month, you will come back, right? You will come back. So whenever you came back at that time, you will check in the letter box, is there any letters are available? If a letter is available, you will take that letter and you will see whatever the message is there in that. So with this, right, you won't miss anything, guys. There is no chance of missing anything. Okay, same here also. Right, here we are going to create one queue. That queue is nothing but letter box. Okay, here publisher is trying to give one message to the consumer, but consumer is not available. Consumer application is not running. Then what publisher will do? Just he will drop that message inside the queue. Whenever consumer is up and running, consumer will go and take the message from the queue. For that, we are going to use this SQS concept. SQS stands for Simple Queue Service. Simple Queue Service. Fine. So next one is SNS. SNS stands for what? Simple Notification Service. Simple Notification Service. Okay. Here my CloudWatch is monitoring, guys. We are using the CloudWatch for monitoring purpose. Okay. Here CloudWatch is monitoring something wrong, guys. CloudWatch identified something goes wrong. Okay. CPU, right? Limit, exceeding the limit, guys. CPU is exceeding the limit. Then what CloudWatch will do? Immediately it will press the alarm. It will give the signal. It will press the alarm. Hey man, right? CPU is reaching the limit, right? It is crossing the limit like that. CloudWatch will give the information, right? So then, whenever that information came, right, immediately alarm will send one notification to the SNS. Inside the SNS, right, some subscribers are there. Some subscribers are subscribed with the SNS, guys. Whenever notification came to this SNS will send that notification to all the subscribers. Okay, SNS stands for what? Simple Notification Service. If CloudWatch wants to give the notification, right, to the persons, to some people, guys. Right, we have some teams, guys, right? We need to share one notification to that team. So like, man, CPU limit, it is crossing the limit. That information I need to share with the team, guys. We are managing that the networking and all those things. I need to share that information. How you will share that information? You need to send the notification. You need to send the notification through email, or you need to send the notification to via message, guys. Right. If you want to send such kind of messages, then we need to use this SNS topics. SNS topics we will use. Here with this, we can send the notification to particular teams. Okay. Guys, up to here everyone is clear. Up to here everyone is clear. Please respond. Right. Today and tomorrow we are going to spend just to understand the course content in detail, guys. Okay, so then we will start one by one, guys. Okay, just today and tomorrow we will understand the course content, right? Just to get more clarity about the course, guys. Okay, fine. Up to 14th one SNS, everyone is clear, right? Why we are using EC2, why we are using AMI, why we are using EBS, ELB, ASG, Route 53, S3, RDS, DynamoDB, VPC, CloudWatch, CloudFormation, SQS, SNS. Clear, right? SNS we will use to send the notifications. SQS we will use to publish the messages inside the queue, to consume the messages from the queue. CloudFormation we will use to create the infrastructure by writing code. CloudWatch we will use for monitoring purpose. VPC we will use to create the isolated network. DynamoDB we will use to create the NoSQL databases. RDS we will use to create the SQL databases. S3 we will use to create the unlimited storage device. Route 53 we will use to map the domain name with the load balancer URLs. Right, ASG we will use to create the servers and to decrease the servers automatically. To perform scale up and scale down, we will use ASG, load balancer, EBS, AMI, EC2, guys. Fine. Everyone is clear. Please respond once. I need response from everyone, online people, guys. Please send confirmation.
Yes,
everyone is clear.
Yes. Yeah.
Very good. Very good, guys. Not completed. Tomorrow also we are going to spend to understand remaining services and AWS DevOps tools, guys. Tomorrow we will understand remaining services and DevOps tools both. Okay? Fine. For today, I'm stopping, guys. Tomorrow we will discuss. Guys, right, every day we have the session. Every day we have the session, guys. 6 a.m. IST to 7 a.m. IST. Mode of the class is, it is completely online session. Right, Monday to Friday we have the sessions. Right, the daily class notes are available, and the class recordings also I will share this. With 1 year access, I will share the class recordings also. Here we are maintaining 2-3 groups. One is WhatsApp group to updates, guys, for updates. A Telegram group for sharing the notes. And right, so if you guys have any issues, you guys can share those issues also in the Telegram group. And one more thing is Google Drive, right? So we will upload the daily class recordings in the Google Drive. Right? If anyone have interest to attend for this course, right? This is my WhatsApp number. Just send one message to this WhatsApp number, guys. What is that WhatsApp number? 6362345870. Okay? Still we are discussing course content only. We haven't started the actual things, guys. Right? Tomorrow also we will spend on this course content only. From day after tomorrow we will start the actuals, guys. So you guys have time still to join for this batch. If anyone have interested, guys, please send one message to this WhatsApp number. I will contact with those people. Okay, any one of your friends are looking for this course, please refer, guys. Okay, so we are going to understand very huge content with valuable notes and class recordings, guys. Okay, fine. Thank you, guys. Tomorrow we will connect at 6 a.m. IST.
Hey, Siri, quick one.
Yes.
Quick one. Can you hear me? How long do you think this course will take overall?
Right.
If you estimate.
Repeat.
How long did you think, do you think this course would take?
Duration you were asking?
Yes, the whole duration, yeah?
Okay. Sorry, here I forget to mention. Right, duration of course is 3 months, guys. 3 months to 3.5 months. Right? Minimum 3 months is required, maximum 3.5 months. Right? Our course content is very high, guys. Don't think about the duration. Right? Please focus on the content, course content, guys. Okay? Right? I will try to complete it in 3 months, guys.
That's fine. I mean, I just wanted to know. That's okay. Thank you.
Fine, guys. Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you, guys.
Recording stop.